What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more fighting. Now I'm watching the UFC Fight Night, UFC Brasilia on FS1. I want to give my post-fight thoughts to Roy Nelson, Big Country versus Bigfoot Silva. And it was a good fight. I expected it to be one that was probably ended in a knockout, and that's what happened. So congrats to Big Country Roy Nelson on his second round knockout. And to me, this was a pivotal heavyweight fight. Roy Nelson, he's 40 years old. Both fighters had one win in their last 4 or 5 fights, and I thought it was a must-win scenario for either one of them. Both of them lost to guys like Mark Hunt in recent memory, things like that. So the heavyweight picture is looking really stacked in the UFC. So it was kind of that must-win situation for them. And I thought this was a good fight. It was only a 2-rounder and not too much to break down, but what I seen in the first round was a good round. I gave it to Bigfoot Silva. I thought he landed discouraging kicks that were reddening the legs of Nelson. Nelson seemed a bit timid and gun-shy in his approach. Usually you see him throw, but I noticed an immediate size disparity. Bigfoot Silva, he looked like really big. He about 6'4", but he just looked big, and he was keeping Nelson at bay with those blistering kicks. And I thought that was what won him the round. He was controlling the distance with that. And Nelson really couldn't get into a rhythm. His money punches his overhand right, similar to Marcos Maidana when we're talking about boxing. It's like an unorthodox, loopy, chopping, come down, or overhand right shot. And he couldn't get it off. However, towards the end of the round, it was you started to see him. He landed it, I think, 3 or 4 times in a small period of time. I want to say the last minute of the round. So he started finding the range and the timing for it a little bit more. And in round 2, Nelson's corner was encouraging him, imploring, like, come on, you gotta let your hands go, you gotta do something. And he did that, just that. And you started to see a shift in momentum. You seen Bigfoot Nelson, he looked less under control, and he was backing up a lot more. I even tweeted that when I was watching this live, is I noticed he was backing up more. His kicks didn't look as snappy in round 2, and he started getting hit with some big money shots, big shots, and he ate a few of them, but he got blasted with the uppercut that dropped him to the mat, and Nelson he jumped on top of him like a true veteran does, and he just started blasting him with the ground and pound, hitting him with heavy shots. Really weird that the ref didn't stop it. You can even see in the fight, Roy Nelson gets up like, are you gonna stop this? Like, I did enough. I mean, he's clearly out. I'm not trying to kill this man. And eventually it was stopped. I think he threw maybe a few more concussive type shots, but it was a stoppage that could have came a little bit sooner to me, just because he was clearly out of there and disoriented, probably concussed or whatever. And we know Nelson is heavy-handed. So much needed win for Roy Nelson. I've always been a fan of Roy Nelson ever since he won the Ultimate Fighter, and he's just one of those guys. He has a fun style to watch. He looks like he's mad sloppy, not in shape, but he has power and he comes to bring it. He's more athletic than you would look at, or you would think if you just were to look at him. So let me know where this bumps him. The UFC heavyweight division is pretty packed. You got people off losses like Alistair Overeem and Travis Brown. Then you also have some rematches of people who are looking good in recent fights. Daniel Cormier, Stipe Miocic, Fabricio Verdum, a lot of bounce back wins. So let me know what fights you want to see, what rematches you want to see for Roy Nelson. Bigfoot, it's probably time. His time is he's not looking like the same fighter. He's taken a lot of shots and been in a lot of wars and stuff like that, the Mark Hunt fights and shit like that. So let me know what you guys want to see next for Roy Nelson in a stacked heavyweight division. Drop that in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.